Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, December 20th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you are someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how it can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around still. That's because the market's open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol CGEN, and a very, very impressive move today. And now a very interesting pattern here is taking shape, mainly because of this event right here. The ability to draw a resistance trend line just like that. And let me really reiterate, I'm not trying to impress you. I'm not trying to imply that this is some sort of great discovery or special talent on my end. A lot of people have done that. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there is no such thing as a guarantee, is it plausible that if the price comes up here and breaks up through that area of resistance right there, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure and momentum? That is certainly a plausible conclusion. Again, not guaranteed to happen, but I don't think anybody would call you crazy because that's a very well-established trend line on a stock that a lot of people were watching today. So it's not out of the realm of reason that it could, definitely generate additional momentum. For those of you that like to play more so pullbacks, interesting level right down there at $1.60. Let me change that to green, and that's more so for those of you that might want to say, nah, I don't really like to play breakouts, but if I can structure myself a risk-reward scenario on some sort of pullback, then I can see $1.60 being an interesting level from that regard. But in my opinion, at least, the most interesting dynamic is that trend line right there, so we'll see if the price can get the break of it over the next couple of days. Next one here, PBLA, and same general idea. So I'm going to get this trend line in play. You just heard me give the speech, but that's not a great discovery, not a special talent. A lot of people have drawn this trend line right here. So once again, you got to think a lot of people are watching that level. So I'm not going to repeat myself, but same general ideas, no guarantees, but it is a plausible thing, even if you just want to call it that self-fulfilling prophecy, that if the price does break through that level, it could very well create additional upside buying pressure. For those of you that like to play more so the pullbacks, interesting here, in my opinion, is this little gap close location down here at $1.30, so keep an eye on that. But yeah, once again, as we just talked about, I think the most interesting dynamic is all about that trend line there, so we'll see if the price can break over it and get some additional momentum. Next one here, NKLA, and very, very impressive move today, mainly when you factor in how nasty things were looking last 30 minutes there on Monday. I mean, it had broken down through moving averages, and then the final 30 minutes, this thing was still dropping, and now all of a sudden the thing is back up above all those moving averages and pushing to highs. So a very impressive turnaround, no doubt about that, once again, especially when you just factor in that. Remember, that's what the chart looked like before today started. Nasty looking chart, nasty looking last 30 minutes, but again, things have come to life very nicely, and we got to get this trend line in place. Honestly, I think I might have this trend line in play already at one point, but I don't remember. That might be a lie. But regardless, nonetheless, at this point, because of the big recovery, this level here now needs to be paid attention to, as that'll be the next key level. And it's still got a little bit of distance to go, as you can see here, but it's not that far away before if the price gets up to that level, and then you get to ask the exciting question, can the price break through it? And if it can, then you get to ask another exciting question, is that the start of something even bigger? But nonetheless, very nice recovery. That'll be the main area of resistance moving forward. In terms of supports, you're going to want to keep it on that purple line there, the 50-period moving average and the 200 moving average over that pink line. But all in all, very impressive move. Nice, strong last 30 minutes, as you can see here with the green candle forming. So we'll see if this momentum carries it into Wednesday and can bring it all the way up to that resistance trend line. Next one, MARA, and did this one yesterday, and once again, a case of deja vu. I'm basically a broken record at this point, higher highs and higher lows, because once again, that's exactly what we had. So I'm just going to use both these levels and just adjust them up to the new areas. So this new area of resistance is just asking yourself the question, where did the party and momentum finally stop today? And that's right up there at the 2250 mark. And, and the good news is the price is not that far away, so it's not unreasonable to think that the price could curl up and then put in some new highs once again. So keep an eye on 2250. And then as far as the areas of support are concerned, newest level here that stands out right there around, we'll call it $20.75. And then from the overarching standpoint, you're just going to want to continue to watch the purple line right there, the 50-period moving average. Keyword there being moving, so as time goes by, that line will just move itself higher and higher. But all in all, the uptrend continues. Next one here, AMC, and overall, I would call this a very, very solid day. Reason for that is because yesterday was a crazy day in the sense of it was all the way down here, and then it bounced. But after these days, you always, at least in my experience, you got to be a little skeptical because you're like, okay, was this just some sort of knee-jerk reaction, dead cat bounce, where the price just rolls right back over? And today, that was not the case. Now, it's not like the price exploded upwards or anything like that, but it's not like the price completely collapsed. Now, right here, things started to get a little sketchy as it came back down, but then you can see the price quickly recovered and then just basically went back into consolidation mode. So, like I said, by no means any sort of massive exciting day, but all things considered, at least in my opinion, good healthy movement here just by going sideways and not giving up all its gains or anything like that. So from a technical standpoint, and for those of you that have watched the past videos, nothing new here to report. Still have the 655-ish area as that key level of support down there, and then in terms of resistance levels, you have this overarching resistance level up there. But before you even really put any focus on that, got to keep an eye on that pink line right there, which is the 200 period moving average. So all things considered, I would say today was a nice healthy day. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online web class that I'm offering here in a couple of days. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, SOFI, and very, very nice overlooking chart. And then nice close, or not quite close yet, but as we head into the close, looking very solid, and the prices certainly get within striking distance here of this key breakout level right there at the $10 mark. You can see from this morning, price got up there and hovered around this $10 mark. Could never get any sort of continued momentum, but once again, the price is getting near that level. But there is a valid question that I'm sure some people are wondering about and saying, okay, or is this some sort of double top? Because we already have top number one here. So if the price comes up here and gets rejected again, top number two, does the price roll back over? And that's also a valid scenario to throw out there. And that's what the markets are all about. Finding those unique, finding those interesting situations, and then not randomly rushing out and buying, but watching, because you're going to have some people there looking at that $10 mark and thinking breakout. You're going to have other people there, the bears, thinking, I think that could be some sort of double top. Somebody's going to be wrong, somebody's going to be right, but that's why risk management matters. But the common denominator there is that $10 is going to be a very important level to watch moving forward. So keep an eye on that. Really, no matter what you're looking to do, that got to think is going to be a key level. In terms of areas of support, first key area going to be right here at that little trend line support right there. And then as I've talked about on past ones, more so from the overarching standpoint, the level that matters the most is going to be that purple line down there, the 50 period moving average. But in my opinion, $10, most eyes are going to be watching that one. So let's see what happens with it. Next one here, Tesla, ticker symbol TSLA, otherwise known as Tesla. But overall, got the breakout of that trend line here today. So what I'm actually going to do is just pivot this line up, because we now have another trend line right there, which is established at, and puts a breakout point right up around the 258-ish mark, give or take a little bit. So keep an eye on that. But from the bigger picture point of view, nice move today, and it's just setting up very, very nicely for, I don't want to say a breakout necessarily on Wednesday, but you got to like the odds, and you got to like, let me put it this way. I don't think it would shock anybody if there was some sort of breakout and this thing pushes back into the 260s by the end of the week. Of course, no guarantees, but I mean, you just look at this, and a very, very nice wedge pattern here. All this is occurring in a bullish pattern. You have, the 50 period moving average just crossed over the 200 period moving average. So a lot of bullish things going on. But remember, no guarantees. You need risk management, because it's not for sure going to keep going upwards. I'm just saying that given all the dynamics here, I don't think that would catch anybody off guard. So watch that new trend line right there very, very closely. As far as supports, nothing new here to report. You've heard this time and time again now, but the closest one right now is that purple line right there. So I'd keep an eye on that as the key level of support. But yeah, all things considered, good, solid, healthy day. Next one here, ticker symbol BITF, and bigger pullback here, but you got to keep things in context, because from the big picture point of view, as you hear, this thing is still very much so in a big picture uptrend. So yeah, you can't deny the fact that the price has pulled back here recently, but from the big picture of things, yeah, it's pulled back, but you can also see that things been rocking and rolling upwards. So in some senses, you could just call this a big picture bull flag pattern. So keep in mind, from overall context, that's what you have. But looking in here a little bit closer, let's look at a couple of other areas that pertain more so in the near term. First level being that level of support right there at $2.68. You cannot see that, so let me squeeze things down a little bit more to get it. There we go. So you can see right here, 268. did a good job a couple of times, both there and there, providing support. And then you can see right there, provided support. So yeah, 268 certainly going to be a near-term level that you're going to want to watch from the support side of things. And then in terms of areas of resistance, key level you're going to want to watch is this trend line here that is starting to get established in the downwards direction. So keep a close eye on that. So yes, if you're some sort of day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you bought right there, or you bought right there, and your plan was to buy and sell within 3 minutes, well then yes, from that standpoint, the chart looks terrible. But assuming you do care about the bigger picture point of view, then as I've already shown, the overall chart is still perfectly fine. Next one here, ticker symbol RIOT, and another one of the Bitcoin stocks here. So yes, there was a pullback today, but I'm going to go through this quickly because you've already heard me say it. But from the big picture of things, everything is still very much so in an upwards trend. So just keep that in mind. And from a support standpoint, really, what I would keep an eye on, and no shock here, maybe you're already going to, you're finishing my sentences for me, but I'd keep an eye on that purple line there, 50 period moving average, just because that happens to be relatively close to where the price is already. So keep an eye on that. And then in terms of areas of resistance, in the very near term, I'd consider this level right here as a potential hurdle at the 1685 mark. But then if that level can be broken, next key overarching level is just essentially where the party and momentum stopped today. That was up there right around $17.60. But all things considered, the trend is still plenty in the bull's favor. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that measures the NASDAQ market. So if you believe the NASDAQ market as a whole is going to go up, this one will also go up, but it just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it a very popular ETF. And once again, we have some new highs, but what we have, actually, let me just get rid of this. And what we have most, in fact, now that I'm just going to get rid of both these, because what we have and what is most exciting about this one is this fact right here. As I speak, you can see the price last 30 minutes is breaking out of this pattern here that we had. So I'll just draw that very crudely. But here we have resistance, then we have basically a little wedge right here, then we had the upwards move here. So basically a bull pennant pattern. But point here being is that the price is broken out. This is occurring down here, and you can see not massive volume, but above average volume. So now we get to ask the always exciting question, is this the start of something even bigger? Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing is a faulty breakup. Maybe this thing heads back downwards. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something much bigger, and this thing is getting ready to rock and roll just that much higher, which is why it's always a fun question. Because think about it. If nothing worthwhile is happening, it makes no sense to ask any question at all because, well, nothing exciting is happening. But when something exciting is happening, such as we have here, well, then, yeah, you get to ask those exciting questions. So sure, maybe the question is a question. It's not necessarily telling you what's going to happen, but nobody knows what's going to happen next. But the key dynamic here is that at least we're getting to ask this question because something has actually happened. Some things, some charts, nothing exciting ever happens, so it makes no sense to ever ask any questions towards them. But right here, like I said, breakout is underway. Is this the start of something even bigger? Let's see what happens. So that wraps up the top 10 list. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for that free class. It'll be in a couple of days here, Thursday, December 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below, say hi, tell me what you traded today, give me your watch just for tomorrow. But those two things really help out the channel, and I thank you in advance. So go get signed up for that free class. Thanks for watching. Take care, and let me know if you have any questions down below.